Unsolved Mysteries of Our Ancient World Prologue. When history breaks its own rules, humanity has always believed that history is a straight line, a clear path from primitive stone tools to modern skyscrapers. Yet scattered across our planet lie discoveries that refuse to fit this orderly timeline. There are ancient tombs sealed for thousands of years, colossal stones weighing more than entire aircraft, mysterious cities carved underground with impossible precision, and civilizations that rose and vanished long before the first written word. As the camera sweeps across deserts, jungles, forgotten ruins, and lost worlds buried under the ocean, the narrator reveals a truth that will guide this entire documentary. The ancient world was far stranger, far more advanced, and far more mysterious than we ever imagined. Each discovery challenges our understanding of who we were, and perhaps who we truly are. Today, we step into this world of unanswered questions, where history bends, assumptions collapse, and secrets whisper beneath the soil. The sealed tomb of Qin Shi Huang among the rolling green hills of Shaanxi province lies one of the greatest archaeological enigmas on Earth. The untouched mausoleum of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of a unified China. For over 2,200 years, his central burial chamber has remained sealed, protected not only by layers of earth but by an army of more than 8,000 terracotta warriors, each sculpted with a unique face, expression, and posture. Ancient historian Sima Qian described the emperor's tomb as a subterranean kingdom, complete with flowing rivers of mercury representing China's great waterways, a star-studded ceiling made of pearls, crossbow traps ready to fire at trespassers, and treasures meant to accompany the emperor into eternity. Modern scientists confirm high levels of mercury beneath the mound, lending credibility to the ancient texts. Yet the tomb remains untouched, not because archaeologists don't want to open it, but because today's technology is simply not advanced enough to preserve its contents. When the Terracotta Army was unearthed in the 1970s, the brilliant colors on the statues faded within minutes, destroyed by oxygen exposure. Silk, documents, and ancient materials inside the central chamber could disintegrate instantly. Additionally, Chinese cultural law strongly forbids disturbing the resting place of an emperor. And so, the greatest unopened tomb in the world remains sealed, guarding its secrets in complete silence. The lost tomb of Genghis Khan across the endless Mongolian steppe, where the winds whistle between the mountains and the horizon stretches without end, lies another mystery. The missing tomb of Genghis Khan. He forged the largest land empire in human history, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe, yet no one has ever found his burial place. According to tradition, he wished to remain hidden forever. Legends say that after his death in 1227, his escort killed every person encountered on the journey home to protect the secret. Thousands of horses were driven across the burial site to erase all tracks, and even the men who buried him were executed to ensure no witness survived. Some stories claim that rivers were diverted over the tomb, burying it beneath water and silt. Others speak of a young camel buried with the emperor so that the mother camel would return to mourn, giving future descendants a way to find the sacred grave. Modern expeditions using satellite imagery and drones have scanned the suspected region, but Mongolian tradition considers the area sacred and prohibits excavation. The possibility remains that the greatest treasure trove of the medieval world, containing artifacts from China, Persia, Russia, and beyond, still lies untouched beneath the earth, exactly where the emperor wished it to remain. The Giant of Castelnau in 1890, anthropologist Georges Vacher de Lapouge made a discovery that continues to provoke debate. While excavating a Bronze Age burial mound in Castelnau, France, he uncovered enormous bone fragments, a femur, a tibia, and a humerus, so large that they appeared to belong to a human standing well over 11 feet tall. Published measurements showed bones double the thickness of normal human anatomy. Experts from Montpellier studied the remains and concluded they came from an unusually tall human, though they could not rule out pathological gigantism. The bones were sent to scientific institutions for further examination, and then disappeared without a trace. No records, no storage logs, no preserved samples remain. In the decades that followed, rumors surfaced of other giant skulls found in nearby areas, but these too vanished. Modern scholars argue the bones may have been misidentified prehistoric animal remains. But if that were true, why did 19th century experts classify them as human? Why did the bones disappear entirely? The mystery of whether a race of giants once walked the earth remains unresolved, suspended between mythology, archaeology, and the uncertainty created by missing evidence. The Longyo Caves of China in 1992. A farmer draining a water-filled pit in Zhejiang province made a discovery beyond imagination. As the water receded, it revealed an enormous underground chamber carved with machine-like precision. Soon, villagers drained more pits and uncovered an entire network. 24 massive caverns, each engineered with flawless accuracy. The walls and ceilings were uniformly etched with parallel lines, as if completed with advanced tools. Some chambers reach heights of 30 meters, supported by giant stone pillars perfectly aligned across great distances. Astonishingly, not a single ancient text mentions the caves. No tools, no building materials, no traces of workers or habitation were found. And the scale is massive. Removing the volume of stone would have required hundreds of thousands of laborers working for years. How could such monumental engineering be achieved over 2,000 years ago, without leaving any record of its existence? The Longyu Caves remain one of the most perplexing architectural mysteries in China, suggesting a lost project, a forgotten civilization, or a monumental effort erased from history for reasons still unknown. The megaliths of Baalbek in the Bekaa Valley of Lebanon stands Baalbek, a site that challenges the limits of engineering, both ancient and modern. At the base of the Temple of Jupiter lie three enormous stones known as the trilithon, each weighing between 750 and 800 tons, cut and placed with a precision that defies explanation. Modern cranes can lift such weights only under specialized conditions, yet these stones were moved and positioned over 2,000 years ago. Even more astonishing are the super-megaliths still lying in the nearby quarry. The stone of the pregnant woman at roughly 1,000 tons, another at 1,242 tons, and the largest ever discovered weighing an incredible 1,650 tons. How were these behemoths transported? Why were some left in the quarry? Scholars propose that Romans attempted to move them using wooden rollers and dirt ramps, but no Roman text mentions such a feat, and no known Roman machinery could lift these masses. Increasingly, archaeologists suggest that the foundation may predate the Roman temple, possibly constructed by a much older, unknown civilization with lost engineering techniques. The stones remain silent, yet their existence demands answers we still cannot provide. The Devil's Bible, Codex Gigas, in Sweden's National Library rests a monstrous book, the Codex Gigas, better known as the Devil's Bible. Weighing 75 kilograms and over 90 centimeters tall, it contains 620 pages written entirely in the same flawless handwriting. Legend claims it was created in a single night by a monk who made a pact with the devil to escape being buried alive as punishment. To honor this unholy bargain, he painted a full-page portrait of Satan, one of the most disturbing images found in any medieval manuscript. The book contains the full Latin Bible, medical texts, exorcism rituals, magical incantations, historical chronicles, and mysterious formulas. Over the centuries, it has gained a reputation as cursed. Kingdoms that possessed it suffered war, plague, or political collapse. Scholars today remain amazed not by superstition but by the sheer impossibility of its creation. Writing this much text in perfect consistency should have taken decades, not months or years. No errors, no corrections, no changes of ink or stroke appear anywhere. Whether the Devil's Bible is a masterpiece of devotion, madness, or something else entirely remains one of the Middle Ages' greatest puzzles. Göbekli Tepe, the first temple on the plains of southeastern Turkey, lies Göbekli Tepe, a site so ancient it rewrites human history. Dating back 11,600 years, it predates agriculture, metalwork, pottery, and even settled human life as we understand it. Yet here stand monumental T-shaped limestone pillars weighing up to 20 tons, arranged in circular sanctuaries decorated with intricate carvings of animals, symbols, and abstract shapes. The site appears to be a temple, a place of worship built by hunter-gatherer groups long thought too primitive for such coordinated effort. Even more perplexing is the fact that the entire complex was deliberately buried around 8,000 BC under thousands of tons of earth. Why? What purpose did it serve? What knowledge did these early builders possess that allowed them to create such a monumental structure in humanity's distant past? Göbekli Tepe forces us to question whether religion led to civilization, not the other way around. The White Pyramid of China in 1945, American pilot James Gossman reported seeing a gleaming white pyramid in China's Shaanxi province, larger than Egypt's Great Pyramid. Its sides were smooth and reflective, as though covered in polished stone. Photographs taken shortly after seemed to confirm its existence. And yet, official Chinese records deny any such monumental pyramid exists. Satellite images show dozens of pyramid-shaped burial mounds in the region, some reaching significant heights, but none are openly acknowledged or explored. Some researchers believe these are imperial tombs, sealed to protect their sanctity. Others suggest they might be remnants of a forgotten civilization predating China's earliest dynasties. Whether the White Pyramid truly exists as described, or whether it is a misunderstood artifact buried under centuries of soil, it remains one of China's most secretive archaeological enigmas. The Black Sarcophagus of Alexandria in 2018, construction workers unexpectedly unearthed a massive black granite sarcophagus in Alexandria, Egypt, nearly 30 tons in weight and completely unmarked. The unusual absence of inscriptions or symbols immediately raised speculation. Was this the lost tomb of Alexander the Great? Why was such an expensive stone used for an anonymous burial? When archaeologists opened it, a wave of foul-smelling red water spilled out, created by decades of sewage leaking inside and mixing with decomposing human remains. Inside were 3 skeletons, 2 men and 1 woman, buried without jewelry, gold, or royal markings. One had a skull fracture suggesting a violent death. Why would such ordinary individuals be buried in an extraordinarily expensive sarcophagus? Who were they? What event caused their burial in secrecy? Theories range from military commanders erased from history to a disgraced noble family. Whatever the truth, this black coffin raised more questions than it answered. Lost civilizations and ancient knowledge. As we explore further mysteries, patterns emerge, evidence of civilizations and knowledge lost over millennia. The Pyre Reis map of 1513 appears to show Antarctica's coastline without ice, something impossible without modern tools. Doggerland, a once thriving land bridge between Britain and Europe, was wiped out by rising seas and megatsunamis 8,200 years ago. The Rohank Codex remains undeciphered despite decades of linguistic attempts. Roman dodecahedrons of unknown purpose appear across Europe, yet no Roman document mentions them. The Dead Sea Scrolls reveal ancient versions of biblical texts and secret writings from the Essenes. The unfinished obelisk of Aswan shows the Egyptians once attempted to carve a 1,200-ton monument. Kailasa Temple in India was carved from a single mountain, removing 400,000 tons of rock with precision unmatched even today. The Lost Library of Alexandria, humanity's greatest repository of ancient knowledge, was destroyed by a series of disasters across centuries, erasing books that might have transformed our world. The stone spheres of Costa Rica, some perfectly round and weighing up to 16 tons, appear without any written explanation. Even the walking stones of Death Valley move in patterns scientists only recently began to understand. And beneath the sands of Hawera, radar scans reveal a labyrinth described by ancient historians as more impressive than the pyramids. Yet modern excavation is forbidden. Each of these mysteries represents a doorway into a forgotten chapter of human history, fragments of knowledge scattered across time, hinting at a past far more complex than textbooks admit. Epilogue, what we still do not know. As the documentary draws to a close, the narration reminds us that every mystery explored today shares a common truth. The past is incomplete. Human civilization is not a linear story but a vast tapestry with missing threads. For every tomb discovered, dozens remain hidden. For every ancient text translated, another remains unread. For every architectural marvel understood, there is one that defies explanation. The mysteries of our ancient world do not simply challenge historians. They inspire wonder, curiosity, and the possibility that humanity's greatest stories are still buried beneath the earth, waiting to be found. The final message is simple. History is deeper than we know, stranger than we expect, and far from finished.